Hi guys, welcome to Glory Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a war history drama film called Der Hauptmann, released in 2017. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care.
Here we go!
The story begins 2 weeks before World War II ends. A young German soldier named Willi Harold is being chased by other German soldiers. An officer named Captain Juncker tries to chase him and treats him like a hunting target because Harold has left the battlefield. Harold runs into the forest, and then he finds a hole under the tree roots to hide in. Captain Juncker doesn't realize that Harold is right under his feet, and he can't find him. After successfully tricking Captain Juncker, Harold then arrives at a village. Not long after that, another German soldier comes and it turns out that he is also a soldier who has fled from the battlefield. His name is Miller and his condition is very weak. Harold immediately helps him and takes him to an empty building. In the evening, they both intend to steal from a ranch in the village. They see a thief's corpse hanging from a tree as a warning to them, but they ignore the warning because they are starving. Initially all goes without any problems, but the sound of horses and roosters wakes the ranch guards. Miller doesn't have the courage to kill the guard even though he is holding a gun. As a result, the ranch guards are able to catch him, while Harold can't do anything and just runs away. Harold keeps walking without direction and purpose. Then from a distance he sees a car with no one there. He ventures to approach the car and finds a black box inside. It turns out the box contains the uniform of a Luftwaffe officer or Nazi German Air Force. Harold immediately put on the uniform and all its attributes. After cleaning some wounds on his face, he now looks like a real Luftwaffe officer. Shortly afterwards, a soldier named Fredig suddenly comes begging to join Harold as his subordinate. Harold is very nervous and doesn't say anything, but Fredig really thinks that Harold is a real officer. Fredig says that he has been separated from his battalion, and then he immediately takes the car out of the muddy ground. Harold tries to stay calm and take advantage of the situation. He gives Fredig an apple and orders him to go find an inn for them. Fredig doesn't suspect anything and immediately carries out his order. When Fredig is driving the car, Harold secretly throws away all the traces of his clothes. Long story short, they arrive at an inn. Initially the innkeeper doesn't welcome their arrival because there have been many thefts committed by the soldiers, but Harold tells him that he has been assigned directly by Hitler to catch the thieves who are wandering the town. He and Fredig are finally able to get dinner after days of starvation. When they are sleeping, the innkeeper comes with a soldier who has been arrested for attempted theft. The innkeeper asks Harold to give punishment to the thief. Harold immediately shoots him because he fears his identity will be exposed. In the morning they continue their journey to the ranch where Harold was almost caught for attempted theft, but apparently there are 3 soldiers who have fled from the battlefield. They rob the ranch owner's house and have a party at the house. Harold then comes and surprises them. He immediately asks them to take out their documents. When Harold is checking their documents, one of the soldiers named Lamb begins to suspect him because the pants he is wearing are too big. Harold tries to stay calm and brands the 3 of them as traitors who fled from the battlefield. But for the same reason as Fredig, they say that they are separated from their unit and ask to join Captain Harold. Harold gladly accepts them to join him, and he says that he has a special mission and they will be useful to him on that mission. Harold continues his journey with his new soldiers, but Lamb gets suspicious again because Harold doesn't tell them where they are going. He asks about the purpose of their mission, but Harold convinces him that he is carrying out a secret mission from Hitler. When they are resting among the trees, 2 other soldiers come with an artillery gun. They ask for permission to join, and Harold immediately accepts them without hesitation. In the middle of the journey, the car that Harold is driving runs out of fuel. His 5 soldiers are forced to pull the car using ropes, while he and Fredig sit back in the car. But Lamb gets annoyed and immediately points his gun at Harold. He asks about where they are going and the secret mission they are on. Fortunately, the military police on patrol arrive at the same time. The military police then check all their documents and suspect that they are all deserters. This makes Harold very nervous, but he ventures to meet a military policeman named Schiner. Captain Schiner asks him to show his war warrant, but Harold reasons that the mission he is carrying out is a special and secret mission given directly by Hitler. Harold threatens to report Schiner to Hitler if he keeps trying to force him to show his secret war warrant. Schiner finally lost his argument and apologized for his harsh treatment. He is also willing to help Harold catch deserters who are wandering around and committing theft. Schiner then takes them to a German camp containing prisoners of deserters and thieves. When they arrive at the gate, Harold again meets with Captain Juncker who had almost killed him earlier. Not only that, Juncker also gives Harold questions that make him even more nervous, but Harold tries to stay calm and answers every question from Juncker. When he enters the camp, Juncker invites him for a drink with the other officers at the camp. Juncker and a lieutenant named Schutte try to provoke him to make a decision and give sentence to the prisoner without waiting for the Justice Department first, because they think the prisoners are a burden to feed. Harold takes the opportunity to hide his identity. He says he might be able to do more cruelly than that, but on one condition: all his soldiers have to get the best service in the camp. Junker and Shoot agree to the terms, but they have one problem because the detention room is under the authority of Captain Hansen. Harold's life changes only because of the officer's uniform he has found, and now his life is filled with safety and prosperity. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Shoot comes to see Captain Hansen, who is exercising. Shoot asks him for permission to enter the detention room with Captain Harold, because Harold has been ordered directly by Hitler to monitor conditions at the camp. After getting permission from Hansen, Harold and his men begin to interrogate the prisoners and torture them. Lamb then takes some of them to a field. Freydig, who still has a conscience, asks Harold to stop the cruelty, but Harold doesn't care and orders Lamb to execute every prisoner. Captain Hansen, who sees the execution, immediately goes to Harold's room and wonders what the reason for Harold's madness is. For the same reason, Harold says that he has direct authority from Hitler and a secret mission. Hansen tries to report him to the Justice Department, but Harold lies by saying that if the prisoners tried to attack him during interrogation, therefore he was forced to execute them. In the following scene, Lieutenant Shoot again calls the Justice Department and tries to provoke a doctor named Till. Shoot persuades him to give all authority in the camp to Captain Harold, so he can clean up all the prisoners in the camp. Dr. Till is getting influenced by Shoot's words, and he says he will give authority if Harold is willing to take responsibility for the massacre. Dr. Till then calls Hansen and tells him that starting today, Harold will take over all responsibility and authority over the prisoners. Shortly afterwards, the prisoners are divided into 3 groups and lined up in the field. They are immediately led to their burial trenches and sing the national anthem without realizing they will all be killed. Then an anti-aircraft gun is set up for the massacre. The prisoners are treated like animals and the massacre begins. In the midst of the massacre, the guns they are using are damaged, so Lieutenant Shoot orders the soldiers to shoot the prisoners directly at close range. Meanwhile, Freydig remains silent in his position and doesn't want to commit that madness. The large number of prisoners in the camp cause the massacre to continue into the night. Harold then tells Freydig to kill the prisoners who are still alive. Freydig has no choice and is forced to do it. Captain Hansen can't do anything and tries again to report them to the Justice Department, but Dr. Till, who has been influenced by Shoot, instead orders Hansen to help them finish the massacre. After the massacre is over and all the prisoners have been slaughtered, Harold holds a party to celebrate the massacre. A few days later, Lieutenant Shoot comes to see Harold. He asks for permission to explore the surrounding area and track down the deserters who have committed theft in the village. But suddenly, British air forces bombard the camp and flatten it. Harold and his soldiers apparently managed to survive the attack. He immediately gives them some awards and raises their ranks. They then leave the camp and go to the town. When they arrive in the town, they see a white flag on a building as a sign of surrender that Germany has lost the war. The building turns out to be the regent's office, and Harold gives orders to his soldiers to kill the regent. Not only that, they cause chaos in the town and rob civilians. After that, they have a party in a hotel with the comfort women. In the morning, when they are all still asleep, the military police come to surround the hotel to arrest Harold and his soldiers. Harold tries to swallow his true identity as a soldier, but he is too late and his disguise is finally revealed. Some of them try to escape through the windows, but the whole place is surrounded and they are finally caught. A few days later, Harold is taken to the military court, where he is found guilty of massacring hundreds of prisoners without trial. Harold will be hanged as punishment for his war crimes, but a general orders the judge to release him and place him with the underground forces as the last resistance against the Soviet troops. On the other hand, they've lost the war and killing Harold won't change anything. After some consideration, the judge finally decides to free him. Harold then goes out through the window and flees the court. However, 1 year later his war crimes are exposed again, and eventually he and 6 of his accomplices are executed. Movie ends. Click subscribe for more videos like this and turn on notifications. Support our channel by clicking the like button and leaving a comment. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.